DK, you once told me in an interview that Dhoni is a topper in the university that you are studying, and that Dhoni is always was more above you in terms of mental strength when it came to that crunch moments. When did you actually realize that in your career? Because it was almost some 6-7 years into cricket.
I think one of MS Dhoni is not the most technically perfect batsman. Neither is he most technically correct wicketkeeper. But then he's done both these skills, batting and keeping. He's been one of the best in the world for a long time now. Especially in white ball cricket, he's arguably one of the best that's ever been. And in red ball cricket, even in test cricket, he scored in tough, challenging conditions where people have had better techniques. So there must be something to him which a lot of other cricketers with so-called better technique that he possesses. And I put it down to his ability to understand situations and the mental makeup that he has leading up to a game and during the game. And I think he is probably one of the most mentally astute cricketers going around. Be it the toughness part of it, physically also. He's braved through some big injuries that he's had, where a lot of people wouldn't have played a game. Shied away while batting. He's somebody who takes on. His pain threshold is very high, and he does a lot of things that a lot of people would not do. And that comes from not only the ability to obviously physically handle pain, but also mentally, get over it and do things for the team. And I felt that, that is a skill that he possessed, and he had abundance of it. A lot of people are technically very good, but then when you don't have this mental skill that goes along with it, they probably are not as successful as they can be. Whereas I think Dhoni at the international level proved that even with a good technique, you can go on to achieve special things if you're mentally, astute, mentally strong, you're ready for a challenge, and how you prepare and how you deal with it in the center.
What moment did you realize that you
I
have
don't
to
think
work?
It was a moment. I think, over a period of time, the way he's, obviously understood, adapted to various situations has made me realize that is one of his biggest strengths. Even when it comes to his keeping, he's not somebody like other keepers who works, hours and hours in taking catches or practicing when he hardly does it. He has great hand-eye coordination and a great awareness for the game and a strong pulse also where the ball is and where his hand should be, and he's got a great feel for it, which is not something that you can learn or practice. A lot of that is a little natural, but along with that comes a lot of mental skill, which he is probably at the top of that ladder in that skill, if you call mental skill.
On the flip side, DK, there are a lot of people who say that you were born in the wrong era, being a keeper with Dhoni at the other end. But do you take pride in the fact that you have played so many international games as a batsman and Dhoni as a keeper?
I don't believe in that statement, because I think when you say you're born in the wrong era, I think, so you're limiting yourself to the small phase of cricket that you play. I think that's very unfair. One, because I think there's a lot more to life than just playing the sport and being successful at it. One. B, I think I would like to think I was born in a great era, because if MS wasn't there, okay, if suppose, imagine an MS Dhoni not being in a certain era, then I don't think I would have pushed myself to be the cricketer that I am today. And I think satisfaction doesn't come so much out of, comes out of success to a large extent, but also comes out of how much sacrifice and how much hard work you put in and how much you've improved over a period of time to achieve what you've achieved. And I think in those senses, if an MS Dhoni was in there, maybe I wouldn't have worked as hard as I should have. And, that's one of the things, maybe a Parthiv or a Saha would have been as good as him and again put the same amount of pressure, and I would have had to, kept constantly upping my skill. So you can't predict these things. I think these are very flimsy and cliched lines that people say. How I looked at it is, there is an MS Dhoni. What can I do to be in the Indian team? I need to be a better batsman whenever I get an opportunity. I need to score tons of runs. I need to score that much more runs than a batsman, to show that even though I'm a keeper, I can play as a batsman. I should be well versed in fielding as well, so that I'm not a liability on the field. So these are all the things that I was constantly working on. So if he wasn't there, I don't think I would have done any of these things. I would have been another cricketer who just kept playing the sport, maybe if I didn't have so many challenges. But as I said that, if Dhoni wasn't there, there would have probably been a Parthiv, there would have been a Saha, or there would have been somebody else, I don't know, who would have been, pushing me in another level. It's not like they're pushing me, but then I have to be the best version of me to, be part of the team. And I think that is a challenge as a cricketer that you need to be facing. So, it's not about what Dhoni has achieved and whether I was born there. I think it's about what I have achieved personally and what self-satisfaction that I have. And I think I'm pretty okay with whatever I've achieved and how much work I have put in.